Hi, everyone. Welcome. October 19th, free training on QiqoChat. We just heard introductions from people all around the world. Welcome, welcome. And my name's Lucas. I'm based in New York. So we're looking at a basic QiqoChat event, start date, name of the event, and participate now. And you could see who is here, and you could see where they are if they have put in their location data. And this is the basics, and you can customize it. And I'll show you some beautiful Kiko events. It's meant to be pretty plain because it has to break across cultures so that people find it fairly simple. We're going for simple, and then you can dress it up to make it more advanced. And I'll show you how to do that. When you click participate now, like everybody did, on the top, you see a picture, and you get to customize that picture. You put a different picture in each space. The power of Kiko is that you can create a bunch of event spaces. Each one is configured with the tools that you want in that space. By default, each space has Zoom, and you can replace it. Microsoft Teams, Adobe Connect, any other tool that you use. And on the right-hand side are the space for notes. So anybody can type there. And while we're doing this, I like to let you feel the interactivity. You can add your questions here. And you can also just speak them to me. You don't have to type them out. But the one great thing about Kiko is that you have all these tools going at the same time, and people can connect where they feel comfortable. They want to connect in the chat. They want to write their question on the notes. They want to speak. We try not to make the decisions for you or for the participants. Instead, here are all the options, and then you get to instruct your participants how you want them to participate. Great, I see Anna had just pasted in an email that she and I had. This is going to be fantastic. We're going to be able to go through all these questions in depth. Outstanding. So at the bottom, you can tell, I could tell it was Anna because I recognized the email from what she sent this morning. So thank you for pasting that in. And the other great part about Kiko is it has many different event spaces. So if I go over to room 1, it's a different photo, a different notes page, and a different join video, join Zoom link. So you can have up to 100 of these spaces connected to each other, and participants can move between them freely. You can hide them, you can show them, you can rename them, you can put pictures in them. There's a lot that you can do. Let's take a look at a QiqoChat event that's happening now. Okay. This one's neat because it's happening in 2 languages. These are landscape architects in Switzerland. So it has to be in both German and French. Each participant can choose what language they want to see the instructions here. If you don't see your preferred language on there, please get in touch. It doesn't take much for you if you wanted to translate. It would be about 2 hours of work. You could translate all of what participants need to see into any language that you like. And then for any left to right languages, it's easy for us to pop it in. So please do reach out, support@QiqoChat.com, and we can get additional languages.
May I ask a question at this point?
Yes, please.
How are you with right to left languages?
We do not yet support right to left languages in the instructions. However, many of the tools that you might want to use can support right to left. So you can embed Google Docs and other tools like that.
Definitely, sure.
And definitely our goal to include right to left languages. We just launched all these left to right languages a few weeks ago. So we want to continue to expand and make Kiko more accessible. It's one of our core values. It's about connecting people. In order to connect people, you have to reach them where they are. You have to reach them on the devices that they are in the languages that they prefer. So we'll go into this event. You see they had a custom image there. Here's a custom image at the top. And then this is a blog post that they put in here, just a welcome instructions. And yeah, I have these icons here to show you. This is in German and this is in French. So here they embedded a full website into Kiko. So now it feels fun and playful. So this event is happening now. You can see all of these people are in the plenum or the plenary. And if I scroll down, you can see there's 70 more people in here. So it looks like all 200 plus people are in the main room. And then they have various breakout rooms down here. So that's the feel. after they break out, you can see them jumping between the rooms. You see their profile icons updating. It's a lot of fun. So let me pause here to see if there are any questions, and I'll just click around to show you some different, here's an image that they have. And then this is Mentimeter, which is a powerful tool for collecting audience responses. So I'm not going to go in there because that would affect their conference, but I know there's a public conference, so they don't mind me showing it. But you can see how you can embed lots and lots of tools here. We have a list of all the tools you can embed. All right, and there's tools for taking notes like Etherpad and Google Docs, a powerful whiteboarding tool called Miro, Google Drawing, Concept Board, a lot of the favorites that you have, survey tools like Mentimeter, Google Forms, tools for scheduling. So you can see that you get to build the conference space that you want. And fundraising tools, networking tools will show spatial chat, how you can catch each other on video and move close to each other. So when you're close to somebody, then you pop up on video with them. One great thing about Kiko is that there's an active user base that we allow to connect with each other. We have a Google group where people are sharing tips and questions with each other. And we also have all these online free trainings and support sessions so that you don't have to build this on your own, because there are so many options, part of the task is figuring out what to not include. So I'll go back to this event and take any questions that you have from what you've seen, and then we can continue going through the tutorial.
I had a question on how does one invite individuals to a Kiko event? That wasn't clear to me, I guess, because I saw some Eventbrite integrations, and I'm not sure if we wanted to capture certain information, is that, I'll let you take it.
Great question, Jane. So try to make it as flexible as possible. The first question when you think about how to invite people is, what level of security do you want? Do you want anyone to be able to enter your event? Sometimes you do. And other times, do you only want people who are on an email access list to have access to your event? So you can, and then there's a whole bunch of options in the middle. So if you want to collect participant data, then it's important to have them register on a separate system. Then you have all the data that they enter. That could be Google Forms, that integrates with QiqoChat. That could be a spreadsheet, specifically Google Sheets, that integrates with QiqoChat. You can collect their information through Eventbrite, so that integrates. So as soon as people pay you on Eventbrite, by connecting Kiko and Eventbrite, you're able to automatically have an account created for them, and then an invitation goes right out to them. They don't even have to enter a password. They just click a link. It's their personalized link. Because it came to their email when they click it, we know that's them. So we sign them in automatically. So here's a bunch of different options. Let me pause for any follow-ups that you might have on that, Jane.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, so my concern was I didn't want to make a person register twice. So it sounds like if we were to integrate it with some sort of registration mechanism, they would not have to go back, go into Kiko, and they would already have an account created.
That's right.
It sounds like. Which answers my question.
And yep, excellent. And here's how to connect Eventbrite and Kiko. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes. If you've done it before, maybe the first time could be 25 to 30 minutes, following the screenshots that we have here, which just walk you through. It's with a tool called Zapier. And Zapier can connect you to hundreds of different tools in different ways. It's fun to learn that tool. It really opens your mind to different possibilities, how you can connect all the tools that you use on the web, many of them like your emailing system. Okay, let's see, additional questions about what we've just seen?
Yes, I want to make sure that I understand. So Kiko is like a meta platform, right? It uses other platform for video, etc., and also Zapier and all these stuff. It's like an integration tool for this, if I understand correctly the approach.
That is correct. Yes, so our job is to create the spaces, and then you populate it with the tools that you want in those spaces and the video tool that you want. We have other tools like a timer. There's going to be a chat system that actually is deploying in the next day or two, which is called Rocket Chat. It's very similar to Slack. It allows one-to-one communication between all your attendees. So, correction, all your participants. We say participants because if you want something where people are just attending and soaking in information, there are definitely simpler platforms. But Kiko is built for interactivity, and you get to design all those interactions. So yes, we are a connector platform.
So if we use Zoom, for example, it's our accounts that are being used. We need to connect them.
It is your option. If you don't connect your Zoom, and most people don't,
Okay.
then you use the Zoom that we buy from Zoom
Okay,
directly.
I understand. Sure.
We pay Zoom 30 cents per hour per person. We charge you 60 cents per hour per person when they're on video, and then
Okay.
$1 per day. If you want to use your own Zoom meeting, you're going to have to do a little bit extra work to make sure that you don't schedule 2 Zoom meetings at the same time, because one Zoom Pro account. So there's some work that you have to do there. And then you can save some money on the Kiko side, because Zoom isn't charging us. We pass that savings on to you. So then the per hour rate is going to be 30 cents per hour per person. You can also buy Zoom meetings from us. We have something like 65 of them that we use when people need cloud recording. If you want to use your own Zoom meetings, you see you can have up to 100 of these breakout rooms down here. And you don't have 100 Zoom meetings. So you might want to just put your Zoom meeting up in the main room, in the plenum or the plenary.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. Now we have in the main room a bunch of questions that Anna had put in. So,
yes. Sorry, but even before we go to that now, I have
yes.
a couple more, if I may. On the Eventbrite integration, so if it sounds like the people I'm working with will be using Eventbrite, they may have already started selling tickets. So can it still be integrated for people when, when it's already been started? Basically, what's the...
Oh, I like that question. So that's, I can tell when you ask a question like that, you're really thinking through. So when you create an event, you might post the invitation before you've built the Kiko space. That happens almost all the time. So people are, the facilitators, the organizers are starting to get paid, and then their event space on Kiko is ready and they want to start inviting people to it. So once you do the integration, it's going to take care of everybody going forward. So any new Eventbrite signups. To take care of anybody else that has already signed up, you copy their name and their email and you paste it into a specific page on QiqoChat. And then you click send, and it's going to send that same personalized link that they would have gotten through the Eventbrite integration. They're going to get it now through a regular email.
Right. Okay, perfect. That sounds good. So it feels like a normal sign up for them. And I thought I had another one. So those Zooms, I think that's becoming more and more murky for me, actually, how this, whose account is whose. But I mean, we might come back to that because I've written those questions down further down there.
Okay. So let me jump into that one first and then come back to the other. So first, I recommend don't use your own Zoom accounts. It's not worth the extra work to save a few dollars an hour.
Yeah.
So you can do it, but you're building an event. The event's going to bring in maybe thousands of dollars, and maybe you're saving dozens of dollars or $200, and it's going to take more. It's like event organizers have so much they're already thinking about. But if you want to do it, it's not so hard. So you click edit on your event, and this is where you edit an event. Here's the title and the description, and then the start date and the duration. So there's a 45-minute event that we're in. This is the free training intro to QiqoChat. You customize your main space. If you want 100 rooms, you click 100 like that. And then down here is where you put in your Zoom meeting. So the first row would be for the first room.
Yeah.
So that would be your Zoom account for the first room. And if you have a second Zoom account, you could put it in for the next room, the next room, the next room. You get the idea.
So if we use, say we use QiqoChat supplied Zoom rooms, that means that we don't have to worry about how many, because you have some unlimited number for whatever we need.
Yes, we just create them on the fly with Zoom, an unlimited number. So
right, so you've got like enterprise edition or whatever. And so then for the breakout rooms, I see here that we need to specify how many breakout rooms, but say I want to throw people into a certain number of breakout rooms like if I'm a host for a meeting and I want to control the breakout rooms because I'm going to send people into breakout room in groups of 5, and then I want to send them into groups of 3, and then I want to send them in groups of 2, and I want to manage that as we on the fly. Is that
Here's
possible?
how you do it. You click admin controls, assign people to breakouts, number of people in the breakout, and now there's 3 people per breakout. So you've been assigned, and then you will move yourself.
Right. Okay. You assign them initially, and it's only random then, only the ship.
So if you, this is random, yes. And if you don't want it, so I can click shuffle and it'll randomize, randomize, randomize. And if you don't want it to be random, then you click admin controls, set topics for breakout rooms, and then you paste in your people's names here. And you could figure that out on Excel or Google Sheets or some other tool. And all you do is paste in the usernames or their names. It doesn't even have to be their Kiko usernames. And then they know where to go.
And you didn't need to paste that. It defaulted what was already there by the look of it.
Yes, because I clicked admin controls, and then when I went to assign people to breakouts, that's what populated those topics.
Right. So who's going to be, sorry, the questions are coming thick and fast now. So who's going to be managing that? Because I'm kind of doing the technical side of things. However, if there's a host who's quite comfortable running their Zoom meetings normally, and they're used to configuring their breakout rooms with Zoom's native tools, they might not be so familiar with this. And on top of that, I don't know, will we be giving them admin access? How does that work?
Great questions. So yes, your intuition is right. Let's look at the event that we're in. There is the person who created the event. That's me. So I have all full access. And now I can delegate assistant administrators. I could say Anna is assistant administrator, and now she gets full access just like me. The only thing you can't do is delete the event. And then the third level of access is to put in the participants' names that you want to be the Zoom hosts. You either put in their email address or their username. When they can be the host, then they can click admin controls, join video as host. This is how you would join video as host. And when you join Zoom as host, now you have all Zoom host capabilities, including muting and removing people, the security options like allowing people to screen share, enabling a waiting room, enabling people to record. Make sense?
Yes. And so, but when they're doing that, they have those same controls, but they're not using the native Zoom.
They are.
Using.
They
are.
You would.
It'll look like Zoom.
They will.
Like we do here. We can see down the bottom reactions.
That's right.
So they'll have exactly the same Zoom interface room.
That's right. Once you click the button here, it's regular Zoom.
Right. Okay. So they'll be at home and they'll have their host control. Great. Okay.
Polling doesn't work with the accounts that we create with Zoom. That's one thing to know. If you need polling, you can put in your own Zoom meeting the way I showed you before, or you can buy a Zoom meeting from us that is a Zoom Pro account, and then you can use polling there.
Or we can use, so that kind of leads into the Mentimeter question actually, which is down the bottom there.
Yes, here we saw Mentimeter in this landscape architects event.
And so whose account is the Mentimeter account? Do you have one of those?
All these tools on the right would be your tools. So you would pay whatever tool that you want to use. And you don't pay us, you pay that tool directly.
Right. So it's only Zoom that you're offering and the spatial chat currently? And all the other tools we need to source ourselves and get our own accounts for? We
offer the default notes tool on the right called Etherpad.
Yep.
And a chat tool going in here on the right, which you can get a preview of here.
That's the spatial chat we looked at the other day.
This is a regular typing chat.
Oh, okay.
And it's looking like this. This is where we're testing it right now.
Oh, this is the Rocket Chat.
Yes, this is Rocket Chat. And you could do one-to-one messaging. You could do a message to everybody. You can also leave video messages. I will.
So this is kind of it's kind of like a stream that's going on outside any of the Zoom rooms. So it doesn't matter where people are, they can still see it.
That's right.
Yeah. So those are the ones that are kind of, so I presume those don't cost any extra, the Etherpad and the RocketChat?
That's correct. RocketChat is included for free. Etherpad's included for free. Then on that list of all the tools that you can embed, many of these have a free option.
Okay, how do we determine which ones can be included for free? Which ones, are any of these ones that we need to pay, we could pay QiqoChat to provide us?
I think that would be great. We don't yet have any arrangements like that, although we are starting to reach out to specific tools for that purpose.
Okay, that's clear. So any that we want in that list, basically we have to source ourselves and provide our own account and integrate from our own account.
That's correct.
Thanks.
Here's the list. The most powerful one that went in recently is Miro.
Right, yeah, that's nice. The Mentimeter, just so that I understand, say, because if we've got 3 rooms, and people are coming in and out of the different rooms. So say we've got one day and we've got 10 sessions, we've got 10 sessions going on over 5 hours, 2 sessions at once. And if there is, these 2 sessions are happening at once in 2 rooms side by side, and they've both got surveys.
It's going to be your option as to whether you want them to see the same survey or separate surveys.
Right. And I realize I'm asking you questions about a different product, but do you happen to know what I need 2 accounts for Mentimeter to be able to show different surveys?
I don't know, but I think that you can have multiple surveys with Mentimeter.
Like different projects. Okay, I'll look into that. Thank you.
Here's how this group did it. They did poll 1.3 and then the result of poll 1.3. So as you click through all the tabs on Kiko, you're going between the poll and the results, between the poll and the results.
Okay.
Right here, we only have one tool embedded on the right, but you can have multiple tools like you saw in that Landscape Architect conference from Switzerland.
Yep. Thank you.
I had a question about the notes that is offered through Kiko at the moment. Are you able to save that and share it later to the community? That I'm not sure how that works. And obviously I'm thinking Google Docs is what we would probably integrate, but if this does the same thing, I'm thinking we might just go with that.
Yes, Jane, these are going to be on a permanent link. So
Okay.
so there's some other things you could do here. You can, first of all, you can come back to this meeting that you're in today and you can see these notes.
Okay.
And if it was a document that everybody's working on, and maybe you're even working on it between events every week, you can come back to the space, collaborate in the space. This is like you walk back into the conference center and put a new Post-it on the board, and then everybody comes back in a week later to continue talking about that knowledge artifact that you're working on. So this lives at a link. Here's the link where you can open it in a new window. So it lives here. So this means you can link to it directly outside of QiqoChat. If you want to save it, Google Docs will have more advanced options like saving to PDF, but here are your options. You can export it as HTML or plain text.
Gotcha. And what about the recordings from breakouts and or sessions? Are they also dealt with the same way?
This is one of the advantages of Kiko, is that you can have cloud recording in all of your breakouts where you can't do that in Zoom. I believe the breakout rooms in Zoom don't get recorded unless anybody knows for sure. Actually, I'm thinking about that. And
they haven't, as far as I'm aware, they are not, unless that's something that's been changed recently, but breakout rooms are typically not recorded.
So if you needed, everybody can record in Kiko locally if they are allowed to by the host. So someone comes in as the host and then permits that. Then if you want them recorded to the cloud automatically, that's when you would put in a different Zoom meeting connected to each Kiko room. And chances are you're going to want to buy those from us because you don't need 35 accounts. So you just want to get them for 1 month. We take care of giving them to you, and then you only pay for the month that you use. So.
I'm just
Yes.
thinking for Jane, it might be useful to know that the way QiqoChat, QiqoChat doesn't really use the breakout rooms. If you're using it normally and you're just moving from room to room like an open space, you're going from Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting. So the breakouts kind of are irrelevant, and you would be recording each room, wouldn't you, if you had the
That's
recording?
true. However, some people do make use of the breakouts. Here we have a large group in the main room. Maybe we would want to go into breakouts in the 20 minutes before a conference is starting to allow for networking. That could be a good use of breakouts. So in other words, this is a Zoom meeting, just as Anna had said, but then inside the Zoom meeting, you also have the regular breakout functionality. And so each of these has its own, each Kiko space has a Zoom meeting, and each of those Zoom meetings has breakout rooms if you need them. But most commonly, people only use it in the main room or not at all.
Gotcha.
So how people are moving from one room to another? They can just do it whenever they want, or how does
Yes.
it work?
If you display the rooms, then people can move. So we can hide and show rooms.
Okay.
And then if you say, okay, please go make yourself at home, go to any of the rooms, it's a 3-step process. Close Zoom where you are, go to another room, and then open Zoom.
Sure.
That's what works best. There is a shortcut where you could just go to the room and join Zoom, but it doesn't work for across all operating systems. So we just say, leave the Zoom meeting, move somewhere else, join the Zoom meeting.
Oh, that's interesting, because I've only ever moved myself and then it asks you to, I'm going to try it now.
Yes, hopefully they fix the bug where there's a second pop-up when you're already in one Zoom meeting. It says you're already in one. Do you want to leave that and go to this one? And some people don't see that on their system. Hopefully that
Right.
now everybody can see it. All right, so let's see if we can keep going through these. Now you're asking me, has a space been created, Anna, for your event? In order to create your space, here's a quick start guide.
Hold on, I'm not looking. Hang on, I'm playing around. Coming back.
You're welcome to.
I've just lost my Zoom screen. Oh, here we go.
Great, welcome back. I'm going to move through these quickly and then we come to any follow-up questions. So
Yeah.
Kiko provides Zoom accounts. Oh, go ahead. You said something, Anna?
No, that's great. Thanks.
Kiko provides Zoom accounts and there are main rooms with changing activities, emulating a real room. Yes, you can do that. Who is the host in this situation? How do you transfer hosts when moving from one session to the next? When you join another session, I click room 1, then I click join video. I'm coming in as a participant, but instead if I click admin controls, join as host, I will become the host. And the second person to click that button will become the co-host, et cetera, et cetera.
So what happens though there, I'm just thinking about, we're using one room, we've got 5 sessions, one after the other. One session is going on like in real life for an hour, but then we want to start the next one. So does the host just charge in there? I mean, they're only going to become a co-host if they then click admin controls. So how do we manage that?
You wind up the event and you let it go. The difference with Kiko events is that you could try to control it if you want. You could force people to leave a Zoom meeting, but the better experience for people is that you say, here's the schedule. These rooms are opening up. If you'd like to continue your discussion, you're welcome to stay. And then if you want to go to the next one, the next room is opening up. So you can have these rooms just opening down at the bottom, and people see the event unfolding. Or if you don't want people to continue their conversations from session 1 when session 2 is supposed to start, then I would advise having session 2 in the same room as session 1. Now people are coming into session 1 space. The session 1 people know it's about time to start session 2, and they will yield the space back to. Does that make sense?
So so I would be kind of like I would perhaps be one of the main hosts for everything, and then I would make everyone else a co-host, or whoever I'm just kind of trying to figure out how it's going to work. So we're going to have a different person sort of introducing the speaker for each session. Mm-hmm. So would that person have to then come in and say, hello, I'm interrupting you now because your time is up, and we need to start the next session? I mean, would it just work like real life?
Yes, and there's some other options you got here. Admin controls set the timer. So let's say it's 30 minutes. So now every room will see a timer so they can know that their conference session is about to end.
Right.
Then also notify breakout rooms. Next session begins in 5 minutes.
Right. But does that notify the whole room?
That notified every event room. That notified
okay.
every room there.
Okay. Right. So it's not just, that doesn't just notify the breakouts, it notifies everything. Okay, thanks.
Who's in control of creating things like breakout rooms? So the event admin will create all of the rooms on the QiqoChat side, and any of your assistant event administrators can do that too. The people that can make breakout rooms inside a Zoom meeting are going to be the people who are the Zoom hosts.
Yeah, got that. Thank you. I think you might have answered all of the other questions.
Okay, let me open it up to other people's questions. And Anna, if there's any I missed, feel free to follow up. So
Thanks.
I'll show some other events while we're waiting for the next question. Let's see. Landscape Architecture Forum had an annual benefit. And this one's fun because of the colors they chose. Let's see. They raised $200,000 with this event. This is their annual fundraiser.
Sorry, what's the largest number of people you've had on a QiqoChat plenary session?
1,000 in a Zoom meeting. And I think there were about 1,200 that day. So the others went to another breakout room. We combined 2 Zoom meetings that in kind of a listening room.
Right,
method.
So you could project what was happening in the main room into the other room.
Yes.
Clever.
So this was fun because of the colors they chose. And here they put out a PDF. Landscape architects are good with the skills for art and graphic design. So they made their event look fun and interesting. And here are their rooms. So this one was social, so mixing drinks in this room, karaoke in this room, meeting this man from Czechoslovakia, improv games, show and tell with your houseplants. So you can see fun ones, spoken word poetry, virtual reality, anything you could do in Zoom. They just had different meetings, a live band, sharing your pets. If you have a sponsor booth, so here's all the sponsors, and people can easily click share my info like this. And now that sponsor has my name and my email. And so I could be entered into a raffle if you're doing something like a traditional conference. Sponsor booths go at the bottom, or networking goes at the bottom. Then Anna mentioned spatial chat. So this is another embeddable tool. You can buy it from us for half price because we're only going to give it to you when you need it. It's $50 a month that we pay for it, and you can get it for $25 for your event, however many days that event will be. So let's see. I don't remember which room they put spatial chat in. I'll go test it out. I'll find another one that has spatial chat. So this is a UNICEF event for their Alliance for Child Protection Humanitarian Action. And the way they formatted this event, everybody arrives at the lobby and they could join video. You have a tech support person waiting there. And then when that's closed, you see there's no join video button here. You can hide where you want the video to show. Here's their plenary was taking place here. And then they had these networking events. So networking rooms, plenary rooms. Here's spatial chat. This is a fun one. Click continue and join space. And now you can put any background photo you want in there. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So this is a pretty busy photo. You normally use a beach photo, but anybody, this is the event organizer shows a different one. So I can move over into this corner, and anybody that's nearby my icon will be able to see and speak together. And then when I want to move to another group of people, I just drag my icon over here, just joining different groups of people. And it gives people this freedom of movement that is very hard to find online. So that's a type of networking room. And then another event, combination of a symposium and trade show can look like this. Logo at the top, PDF on the right, so people know when and where they're going. You can embed quizzes and raffle items and video. So here's the recording from the speaker from day one. When you come back on day two, if you missed it, it's right there for you. So all their activity happened in the main room. And then if you wanted to go volunteer for projects, you go here. Or if you want to meet any of the sponsors, you go here when the sponsor booths are open. And the sponsor booths had their website embedded into Kiko, and their Instagram and Facebook. And here's the quick share my info button. Any questions on these things?
I had a question about the fact earlier that you could hide the video. I'm just kind of trying to understand why you would do that. So does that just mean people can only hear, or does it mean they can hear and talk, but they can't be seen?
Hiding the video is when you hide the video button. So because this event is over, it is hidden automatically. Sometimes you might want to hide the video button intentionally.
Yeah.
When we're down here in, let's say we want this one, networking rooms. So when you go into this networking room for spatial chat, you don't want people also joining Zoom. So that's a scenario where you would hide the Zoom meeting for that Kiko breakout space.
Right. Thank you.
And you can also show and hide rooms at different times. So, all right, good question.
When you say that, sorry, just the show and hide rooms at different times, that's not pre-programmed, that's you going in and saying, I'm ready for this to show now, and you click on show?
Yes, it's very flexible. You can change the displayed rooms at any time.
Right. But you can't pre-program that.
Not yet. But
Yeah.
if more people want that, I wouldn't want it pre-programmed, because if the meeting is slipping or going fast by 5 minutes, I want to be flexible.
Yeah.
And the time it takes to show and hide them is so quick. It's edit and then show, hide, and just paste in the rooms that you want to hide.
Right.
And then save.
Yep.
Great questions, Anna. Other questions from anyone?
I have a question relating to registration.
Mm-hmm.
No, not to registration, actually to joining meeting. So when the guest, the participant is going to join the meeting, do they have to have a Zoom account, or do they have to register to their Zoom, or they just join by clicking?
Join by clicking, fortunately. So I'll show an example event here in an incognito window. So I'll be signed out. This is a software community that we helped with the Linux Foundation. So just create a guest username. And then you're logged in, and then you click Join Zoom. You don't need to sign into Zoom. The Zoom button would be right here, but it's off because the event is over. In this event, they let it be open to anyone, but you want to have a security plan. So they had a Zoom host in every meeting. And these were webinar meetings. So there was less damage that could be done.
Mm-hmm.
there are a bunch of options for how people can come in. That option there was people just enter a username. Another one, I'll sign out here. And if I wanted to come into this event, there's a link that you can use to come in as a guest. So each event has this link. Maybe it only works if you allow for guest access. So it just pops this part up here, create a guest account, type in a username and an email address. And now if your email address is on the access list, then you can get access to the event. This event ended yesterday, but you could see people are coming back to take a look at the notes and to be in the event space. So that's one of the advantages of creating an event on Kiko, is that people can go back to it to see what they created together. We think of Kiko as a tool for helping people think together, not just about listening to information. It's about creating new knowledge by how you as the facilitator and event organizer put all these tools in to prepare the space for the interactions you want them to have.
Is there a time limit as to how long you keep an event information up and available?
There is no time limit. We keep them up. We've been creating these events since 2015, so you can go all the way back to the events that were still back then.
Great.
You can only go to events that you have had access to. We want to make sure all the events are as secure as possible, so there's no way to search for an event that you're not invited to.
That leads me to a question. So if in fact I wanted to share that event information with someone, am I able to do that post-event?
Yes, you can. Here are some ways. Share by email, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or just copy the link. If your event has a security restriction like an email access list, they'll have to be on the access list in order to see what's in there.
Gotcha. And I'll have admin to be able to go back, access to be able to go back in and add them?
Yes, you can. To us, the event is a page. And when the event happens, before or after, we don't do anything different, except the only thing we do is we hide the join video button by default.
Gotcha.
So that you're not incurring any additional charges.
Gotcha. Well, that's great. I appreciate your time. I'm going to go around and see if I can play around in the site. I did create an account, so.
It's worth finding somebody else to play around with you so that you can move yourselves in between the rooms and just see how that goes. People normally just need to experience it once or twice and then they're fine.
That's a great suggestion. So now as we end the call, we can, as many people want to, they can jump into room 1 and see what it's like to turn video on over there. And before you go, I'll give you the link for, we recommend where to start. It's QiqoChat.com/start.
And so how will you know that it's the event that Christine's organizing? Like, I mean, how do I just fill out all the details? It'll all be obvious and you'll know who to bill?
Yes, so we bill the person who created the circle. A circle is a container for multiple events. A circle has a calendar. And so that person enters their credit card. And you can also create events without entering a credit card by putting them in our demo circle. And that information is at the link that I shared, QiqoChat.com/start. I left the T off there at the end. Let me paste that in properly again.
Right, so for the demo sessions, you go into start?
Start, and then there's another tutorial there for hosting an event. And I can give you that quick start guide for event. It's start-events.
Okay, perhaps I still haven't quite got, I mean, because we've been using an account already and playing around with it and everything, so I guess that was one of these demo start ones. So I'm just not sure what I need to do differently to make a real one and for somebody
Well, nothing. I think you go ahead, and if you can create the event, then we've authorized you to be able to do so. So you get a bill after the event is over. You can get an invoice online. You can download it. You can,
Okay, so we can
comment
use
on
the account that we've been using already,
yes,
set up the event in there, and then we can just say, hey, we're doing this for real now, and you can figure it out.
exactly. Once you create an
Okay.
event, it has its own link, and you share that link with whomever you want to.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
For folks that would like, let's see if there's any final questions before we break up. Then at this time, it might be good for people that want to just try what it's like. 3 steps: leave Zoom, go to room 1, join Zoom. I'll be back here. I'll turn the recording off, but I'll be back here if I have any questions. Actually, I'll just join you there. And for folks watching at home, if you want more of these free trainings, it's at learn.QiqoChat.com. So thanks for joining, and we look forward to seeing what you create online. Bye.